Programs don't make the difference. People do. That's why replication is not that simple, because if you don't have the right leader and the right team, the most beautifully laid plans mean absolutely nothing. Human capital is not overrated. The more we can create opportunities for others to demonstrate and live out their skills and talents, our world is so much better. We are interconnected. Whatever is happening to any of us always touches each of us directly or indirectly. Perceptions are everything. They can make you see value, or they can make you see deficits. They can make you see assets, or they can make you see liabilities. It is our willingness to really see and hear that can help us embrace the possibilities and potentials of others. Change is most often led by one person or a small group of people who are brave enough to take a stand, resilient enough to take some hits, confident enough to risk losing friends and instead gain foes and possible naysayers, honest enough to accept the fact that the journey will ebb and flow and feel at times it's about to crash. And it may, but those who persevere weather the scars. Insightful enough to trust instinct as to who can genuinely provide encouragement, candor, and expertise in time of need and simply feeling overwhelmed. And of course, finally wise enough to stay the course, knowing the fruits of your strategic and focused labor can mean the world of difference to those you are attempting to impact or to the environment you are hoping to enhance. Just my thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. When it comes to individuals and groups, number one, working to make a positive change. Two, working to make a positive difference. Because much of a fulfilling life, at its best, is simply those two things on an ongoing basis. Good morning. You can clap with the good. I didn't know what to do. I almost fell coming up to the podium. Did you? Thank you so much, BizTimes, first of all, for selecting me as Woman Executive of the Year for my work with the African American Chamber of Commerce. It was just an honor sitting at the table with the women who represent what this honor has meant. Listening to you on the panel, I sat there for a moment going, oh goodness, I'm following after them. But then when you sat down, there was another energy that I felt because there was an immediate camaraderie that I felt from you as women saying, you go, your turn, up there, do you. Or as that one would say, just do it. The timing of this honor is significant in that 3 years ago, last month, I was humbled and honored by my board of directors in a welcome home reception attended by over 150 people at the Wisconsin Club, and many of whom are here today. That was our beginning, African American Chamber of Commerce of Wisconsin, and I salute you for inviting me to serve at a sensitive time when we both took a chance on each other. But look what we have today. Three members of our present board were responsible for that evening, and they're here. I want them to stand. Our present board chairman, Jim Milner, our past chairman at that time, Randy Crump, and our first vice chair at that time, Avery Goodrich. Stand up. And I want you to remain standing because I want to say to you, thank you for laying the foundational seeds and the actions that started around 2007 and 2008. I wasn't even thinking about you. I love you now, but I wasn't thinking about the chamber at that time. But you were doing a lot to change the course of the chamber, to change the course of the conversation in this community about African American business owners and entrepreneurs. And you laid the groundwork so that then I could help lead the charge for the second phase. So I thank you. Remain standing. And now we have directors Wanda Montgomery, who's our secretary. We have Shirley McFarland, who's our second vice chair. And I know we have some who were not able to make it here today: Clifton Phelps, Shannon Jefferson, and Jim Gaylord. And I also want to say a special thank you to, I think, Kurt Harris is here as well, who served interim, I see you, Kurt, over there, as also executive director. So I also want to say thank you to Chantel Shantz. Stand up, Chantel. She's in our office. Carlotta Cooper's in our office. And I have one of my consultants who is also another wing beneath my feet on a regular basis, Tammy Belton Davis. So I want everyone to know this is my foundation. This is my family that helps me to do the work I do. So when you honor me, you are honoring them. Please give them a round of applause. Now you may be seated. To our strategic partners, the Helen Bader Foundation, now Bader Philanthropies, for their initial and ongoing funding support. I know Jerry Roberts is here, who is our program officer. Formerly Jeanette Mitchell, who is also with the Bader Foundation and continues to advocate leadership and philanthropy. The Greater Milwaukee Foundation, I don't know if Catherine made it. There she is, Catherine Dunn from the Greater Milwaukee Foundation. In fact, a plug. May 26th, next Tuesday, will be our annual meeting, and it will be at the Greater Milwaukee Foundation. Last year it was at the Bader Foundation. And also WIDA through Wayman, who also provided initial support. Give them a round of applause, please. And you know, I know what I'm doing is dangerous, but I'm trying it anyway. So if I miss you, you know I love you, okay? But I'm not finished yet. And so, Tammy, I know I'm doing the cardinal sin, but you know me. I have to recognize my people. To the table representing the foundation of who I am. And you know I'm always recognizing my mother, Joyce Ann Hall. If she doesn't stand up, come on, stand up. Because, Velma, when you mentioned not sitting down, my mother retired, and people have heard this, but I say it again. My mother retired like about 20 years ago. Immediately after she retired, she started to become a volunteer at the school she taught as a reading teacher. So every week, Wednesday and Thursday, at least 7 to 10 children are impacted by her direct reading assistance. That's been going on for the last 20 years. And the rest of that table is my foundation. I have a godmother there. I have another godmother who were former educators, Retha Simmons, Sherry Trotman. I have my mother mentor, who I call Geneva Johnson. I have my other godparents, Mildred and Reuben Harpole. And of course, our board member, Avery Goodrich, who I purposely put there because he was a part of that whole growing up and getting that foundational support. So I know the fruits that I have been able to reap. And that's the representation of my foundation here locally. Give them a round of applause, please. I'm almost finished. People were generous to buy tables. B.M.O. Harris, through Deidre and Raquel Philomanowis, our state partner, WEDC, through Secretary Reed and through Sayum, and my whole revolving loan fund committee, at least our chair is there and other members. Span and Associates, one of the members of our chamber, that's an engineering firm, Prism Technical, Best Ed LLC, which is office supplies, and Sector Management. These were some of the tables in Cardinal Stritch University that represent me, but these are African American business owners in this community. So with those tables that represented me today that said, a salute to this city, a salute to the chamber, would you just stand up so people can see who you are, those tables? Because this represents African American business ownership and leadership. And Harris Construction was in the front. And I think I have gotten all my tables. I hope I did not miss any. I want to salute the Board of Regents President, Michael Falble and Sheila. Mary Dow, she was sneaking in here. She just retired from Johnson Controls, but I'm going to call her out. Because women in business that the African American Chamber of Commerce does today was because of her leadership and sponsorship from the first few months that I started my role as the president. So Mary, would you just stand? I know you're out here. There you are, Mary Dow. And I know she hates that I did it, but I did it anyway because I'm up here. Kimberly Eubanks is the president of Delta Sigma Theta. I know she is here, my sorority sisters, and just all of you. If I've missed you, I see Senator Nakia Harris is here. And I also want to just say kudos to one of our newest corporate partners, and that's Peter Fagan and the Bucks family. In fact, about 4 or 5 of them are here. Could you stand up, Bucks family? Because I think they're really important people to be here. And for those people I missed, you know I love you and I appreciate you. And you are the energy from which I breathe, which includes you too, Jeanette Mitchell. And now my charge. See, you thought I was going to keep you here the rest of the morning, and if I tried to, you would walk out on me, right? It's okay. But here's the charge. I request that you collaborate with the African American Chamber of Commerce of Wisconsin as we continue to reposition ourselves as change agents and influencers for business development, entrepreneurship, and economic vibrancy with African American business owners and entrepreneurs, thus creating wealth, contributing to the tax base, and creating jobs, and impact on the community at large. African Americans represent 40% of the city, 25% of the county, and a little over 6% of the state. In Milwaukee County alone, it was recorded that African Americans represent $3.5 billion in annual income. The African American Chamber of Commerce of Wisconsin is about negotiating the assets of this community and other communities of color through our pillars of service, which are access to capital, advocacy, business development, and community engagement. Let's sit together at the table with business and community leaders across industry and race to make the city, county, and state a win-win for all. We now have the chance of a lifetime to create a new city, to actually do a pretty serious upgrade. We've got the arena, the new developments like Northwestern Mutual, Sojourner Truth, Ergens, Couture, new transit like the streetcar, and overall improved venues that will retain and attract diverse talent to the state and make us a place of destination. Let's be fearless in making it happen. Let's stop being afraid of the change. Let's stop being afraid of taking this city, county, and state to another level. It's been said earlier that we have what it takes to do it. Let's not let this opportunity pass us by. In fact, if you look around, new businesses and developments are taking place all over the state. Racine, Kenosha, Madison, and the M7 regions. In fact, we actually received a call from Racine, Kenosha, asking us to help them develop an African American Chamber of Commerce. We have human capital, and diverse human capital at that. If you just look around this room at African American business owners, entrepreneurs on the rise, corporate and nonprofit execs, retired business and community leaders and educators, legislators, hardworking students, and African American males who are making their mark in corporate, nonprofit, and community. In fact, I'm really proud to say that we have a group of young African American professional founders for a group called Social X, Lydia Smith and Ronell Washington. Why don't the two of you stand? So I just want you to take a look at this picture, because unfortunately the media does not always capture them. They don't always capture Ronell Washington, who drives a very nice car, who has a great job, who knows how to handle himself very well, very businesslike. But guess what? We have a lot of Ronell Washingtons in this city, county, and state. And the Chamber will help promote who they are. And Lydia Smith, she's a GE. I watched her in action as we were at Washington High School, because we're developing a partnership with them around a mobile app that will promote African American businesses and other businesses with high school students who are about to go to Anaheim, California because of a prize that they won in technology. Do you see that very often in the media? But guess what? We're going to help promote that too. But Lydia was in action. And she was running that meeting, and she was challenging the students and telling us what we needed to do. And that's okay. And Ronell does the same. But I want you to look at them and understand that they are in multiple numbers in this state. And that if we begin to change the perception, just beginning with our community, and I'm focusing on African Americans right now because that's who I am, and I run the African American Chamber of Commerce, okay? But it's for Hispanic, it's for Native Americans, for everyone that, of color, it's for all the people that, we kind of go through these limited perceptions. But right now, since I have the podium, I will take advantage of the community I'm representing, okay? But I say that with all humility, everyone, because the future of this city, and I'll let you two sit down now. I know they were like, anytime now. The future of this city really does rest on the diversity and the talent that we now have. And it is our responsibility, and we have pledged this through the Chamber, that we are not only pushing business development amongst our entrepreneurs and business owners, but we're also wrapping our arms around this next generation to make sure that we're helping them navigate this environment. We are taking that responsibility as well. And if you think about it, if we put it all together, MMAC is supporting fuel. We've got GMC helping to support Milwaukee. Chamber should be supporting Social X, because all together, that's what is really making up again that next generation. As I said earlier, perceptions are everything. They can make you see value, or they can make you see deficits. They can make you see assets, or they can make you see liabilities. It is our willingness to really see and hear that can help us embrace the possibilities and the potential. If we keep this room in mind as we think about the future, how the dialogue can and will change and expand, working together, strategically collaborating. Thank you again for this honor. Thank you for supporting the African American Chamber of Commerce of Wisconsin. Thank you for the opportunity to make a difference. Have a great day.